Hello everyone, welcome to PyTech, where we go high-tech with Python.
So, first we'll start with some syntax. Python has very easy syntax to read. First, Python comments. Python comments are denoted by a hashtag, so anything after this is considered by Python as comment. Python will totally ignore all commented blocks, unlike other languages where they use curly brackets to denote a block of text or a block of code. Python uses an indentation. For example, I have a condition. If Python uses a colon to start this block of text. As you can see here, PyCharm automatically indents, so you can continue writing whatever you were writing. This indentation tells Python that this line here is part of this condition. Next, we'll be talking about variables and data types. What is a variable? A variable is a memory location to store data. Or, to put it simply, a container where all our data is stored. So, how do we write variable names in Python? In Python, you can write anything as a variable name, as long as your variable is not the same as the reserved keywords for Python, as shown here. Okay, so since we can write anything as our variable name, here are some tips to write good variable names. It has to be understandable. So, for example, if you're taking a temperature, you can write the variable name as temp. Or, if you're writing a counter, so you can write your variable name as count. Also, if you have a very long variable name, such as like this, a long variable name, don't worry, because most IDEs, including PyCharm, automatically fills in that long variable name. So all you have to do is just type in the first letter and press tab. Now your variable is there. There are two ways to write a variable. The first one is called snake case. This is where you use an underscore instead of space. That's because spaces represent a new block of code in the Python language. The other way is called camel case, where you use a capital letter instead of a space. So, let's move on to data types. First of all, we'll start with numeric. First numeric type is called the integer. The integer is any whole number, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This number cannot have a decimal point, but if you want to have a decimal point, we will use a type called float. Float is any number that has a decimal point, like 1.1 or 2.5 or 10.1. That is the two basic numerical data types that you will actually use. Next is the truth values, or Boolean, as some people might call it. So, a Boolean type is either true or false. As you can see here, if I type false with a lowercase f, it is wrong. So, it has to be an uppercase F and an uppercase T, as you can see here. This is actually very important because Python is a case-sensitive language. Therefore, this variable is different from this variable. Next is the sequence type. The first sequence type is called the string. The string is a group of individual characters in single or double quotes. For example, my string equals to hello. Or you can use single quotes, like this. These two are still considered string in the Python language, unlike other languages where only double quotes are a string. Next would be the list. The list is an ordered collection of one or more data types. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see here, this is a list of numbers. We can also put strings in this list, and it would not give us an error, as you can see here. Next is the tuple. A tuple is like a list, except it is immutable. So, like this. In a tuple, you can also put strings, like this. Next would be the dictionary type. The dictionary type is an unordered collection of data in pairs, like this. As you can see here, each dictionary pair consists of a key and a value. This key here has to be an immutable object. Next is the set. A set in Python is the same as a set in mathematics. If you don't know what a set in mathematics is, a set is a list of objects that has no repeated values. For example, as you can see here, I wrote the number 4 twice, but if we print it out, you can see that the number 4 is only written once here. So, just now I said that tuples are immutable. What is immutable? Well, immutable means that the data inside that group is no longer now changeable. Immutable data types are integers, float, strings, and last but not least, tuples. While mutable data types are list, dictionary. Sometimes you would like to know what type is this data. We can do so very easily by using the type command. So, if I tell Python to print out the type of the number 1 here, you can see that it is an integer. What if you have a string, but you really wanted to use it as integer, so you can add or subtract it? Well, this is where typecasting comes in. Typecasting is a method where you can change from one type of data into another type. For example, my string is equals to 12, but this is a string and not a number. Since we cannot add string with a number, we have to first change it into a number. So we can do that by doing this. So now that we have done this, you can see that if I print out the type of my int here, you can see here that it's an integer. Do take note that if you convert from a float to int, you will lose some degrees of accuracy. Like this. If you remember, an integer does not have a decimal point. So what would happen when Python tries to convert a floating point number to an integer? Well, as you can see, if I print out my int, as you can see here, Python has taken out every single of the decimal places and just put the whole number there. This does not round the number up or down according to the rules of mathematics. It just cuts out anything behind the decimal point. So these are all the commands that you use to change from one type to another. First of all, we convert to int. We just type int and whatever we want to convert in these parentheses. Next is the float. To convert float, you just use float and put whatever you want to convert inside here. Or if you want to convert something to a string, you can use str. This will convert whatever is in the parentheses to a string. That's all I have for you all today. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button and click the notification icon to be notified when I upload a new video.